Shattered.
Stabilize.
Follow the wind.
Solidify.
There is no escape.
Who says there aren't benefits to a life of wonder?
Stabilize.
One with nature.
Curiosity deserves a reward.
Certainly worth the extra mile.
Solidify.
Shine down. Inazuma shines eternal.
Time to go.
Stabilize. This is order.
There is no escape. Wind strike. Fallen leaves. Adorn my nut. Now you shall perish. Ha! 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 Shine down.
Clouds high. The birds call.
Torn to oblivion. Ha! 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 Ha!
Time to go. Time to go.
Stabilize. Order guide you.
The wind knows me. Time to go. Time to go. Into the wind. Wind strider. There are leaves around, and I know just the tune to accompany them, if you wish to hear it.
Follow the wind. The wind knows me.
Gather!
One with nature. Illusion shattered.
Just wait for a little.
Stabilize!
Into the wind.
Ad Astra. Thank you for lessons again.
Sounds good to me.
What shall we do?
A pleasure to be working with you. Can I go catch up on my sleep? You lead the way.
Want me to come along?
Over here!
And away I go! I'm out of here! There aren't many people around it.
Vache!
Looks like we're back here again, huh? Traveler? Are you hearing voices again?
Vache!
Hey! Why are you still walking? Huh? Hey! Traveler? Stop walking! Come on, wake up!
Vache! Are you... No, wait. You seem to be someone else. My memories feel like they... How much have I lost? How many things that I once held... Yes, that is what I was, but I do not know how I came to... No matter where... But now... We can no longer... No! The thought of me, if you meet Vache... Perhaps that is... If only I could have comforted him. Is that what you call... It was a state of... I could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the first... I think I hear your companion. Farewell, then.
Wake up! Come on, hurry! Robbie is outnumbered!
Demoiselle, look out!
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex. Chlorand? Quick, now's our chance!
I should thank you for lending us your sword there, Clorand. But before I do so, could you explain how you managed to show up here?
I followed you. It seemed to me that danger has followed you more closely as of late.
I believe that following someone without their knowledge is actually called stalking. Is it not?
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety, and I will not betray his trust. He would do the same.
Do not speak!
Sorry, Mademoiselle. I was...
Thank you for your aid, Miss Clorand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech. I believe we all wish to avoid unnecessary emotional harm.
Sorry, I did not consider your feelings.
Whatever. What else do you know? How did you come to the conclusion that I'd be
I doubt I know much more than you, but I believe that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances is very powerful. Your performance tonight will almost certainly attract their attention.
I'm sure they've known about me. To be honest, I'm shocked it's taken them this long to act against me. And what about these Gardamex? I thought only those associated with the Maison Gardiennage could control them.
None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment ago. They are not the ones used by the authorities to I can only conclude that some powerful or wealthy party must have obtained them via illegal means.
What? Your point being that they're out of Spina di Rosula's league, then?
Yes. Be careful, and do not act rashly.
I will continue investigating. Nope. Regardless, thank you for your help today, Clorand. But if you get any ideas, tell me first. I don't much appreciate being followed.
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon. So I shall stop following you. Good.
Right. I suppose that's the best news we've gotten today.
Demoiselle, I believe that Miss Clorand was being sincere with you.
I know, she's... Oh, thank goodness! Paimon thought those Gardamex came out of nowhere while you were unconscious. Oh, and there was that champion duelist named Clorand who came out... Oh, come now. Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell meal we had. As such, we're still partners.
It will take 50 years for me to match Demoiselle's magnanimity.
If it were me, I would have joined the Spina di Rosula on account of her...
All right, you two. That's enough. Actually, Navia, how did you know that we were in danger? You sure did show up in the nick of time. Well, to be honest, you're the one who tipped us off, Paimon. Huh? Really? Paimon contributed somehow? Yes. All thanks to you grabbing my drink by mistake. How did... After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases when I suddenly thought of what you said. That the Fanta tasted kind of salty and icky. Fanta only comes in sweet flavors. So how could it have tasted salty? The color of the drink, if I recall, had also been a bit off. So the Fanta had been spiked with water from the primordial sea? Yes. So if you hadn't drunk that cup for me...
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grandest of awards for you as we speak for saving the vault.
Huh? Really? I sent people to Hotel de Boer to investigate. That's when I figured out that you might be in danger, and her... What? Why would they go after us, too? All we did was defend Linny and Court and help... Well, you did foil a plan that they were probably pretty proud of, and almost got their name in the process. Speaking of which, did anything strange happen when you drank the primordial seawater? Well, it can't be a coincidence that the Traveler fainted just now. He said that he heard that voice calling for Vache again. Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too! But it was real. Does that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sensitivity to hydro when it's used on people who are not... That doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest. New intel? Well, let's hear it, shall we? Oh, that... Vache. That name doesn't ring a bell. Since he saw that young woman dissolve, but he never gave testimony or any information. Yes, thank you. This is very Oh, you mean... Well, you did say that our... And besides, we're in this now, whether we like...
Demoiselle, do try not to look quite so...
You talk too much. Well, we also have some plans to go...
Don't worry, you two.
Time to go.
It's right up ahead, but...
I've been keeping watch, Demoiselle. I haven't spotted any...
Very good. But
I shall find rooms for our respected guest.
thank you, Malus. Now, this is your base?
Your accommodations have been arranged.
Well, our funds have been a little after all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteering. In fact, our funds often come from citizenry who support... Seems like it's tough times for everyone. But, to be honest, our your father, he was the previous boss of Spina di Rosula, right? How did the...
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me to explain...
No. I'll explain it myself. I suppose I couldn't run from this topic forever. My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one they call Callus the Unfaithful. 3 years ago, he was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a duel to defend his honor, instead of standing trial. He died in the duel. Oh no! But I do not believe my father was a murderer. At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, something amiss would crop up. But strangely, he not only requested the duel himself, but rumor has it that even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel, he refused to surrender. 3 years later, I still don't understand why he did that. How could he protect his honor if he's dead? The closest piece of info I have is that my father had been investigating the serial disappearances case at the time of his death. Ah, so that's why you're so determined to get to the bottom of that. That's right. I've also tried to investigate the murder my father was implicated in, but I haven't found a single new clue in my... However, I believe that if the murder case is related to those behind the disappearances, I must know what really happened. Was my father coerced? If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive. He even hid the fact that my mother died due to complications when giving birth, and now, here I am investigating his death.
Demoiselle, please.
I also will never believe that Master Callus murdered anyone. Master Callus did so much good in life, yet even our supporters decreased greatly due to that incident, hence our strained finances at present.
Wait, if Callus was such a good man, wouldn't people at least be a little suspicious? No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama. It's not something exclusive to people from Fontaine, really. Everyone's like that. People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf. But they also enjoy watching good people fall into an abyss from one— What? How could— Never mind.
There is one other thing. Master Callus's opponent in the duel was Miss Cloran.
Oh. Her? Well, then, isn't that as good as saying that she was the one who killed him? Yeah. That's not the sort of thing that you can just let go and move on from.
Miss Cloran has always placed great emphasis on the honorable nature of the duel. If her opponent doesn't yield, she will not stop either. She knew Master Callus beforehand and greatly respected him, but seeing how he was resolute in the arena, there was only ever one choice she could have made.
It's not that I don't understand her at all, but I... Don't worry, Navia. Paimon knows how you feel.
Afterward, Miss Cloran told us that at the start of the duel, Master Callus requested that she ensure Demoiselle Navia's safety. Yes, that is our understanding as well.
Oh, Papa. All right. Anyway, that's the information I... thanks. Yeah.
Please, relax and get some sleep.
Them back to Poisson. It's Spina de Rosula's place of origin. Paimon gets the feeling that you're just trying to... But never mind that. No, I just returned after going out for a while. I did... Wait, so you didn't... How could... Guess... Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped. I suspect that the... Does that... No. And that is the archives kept by if the Ocean... So Nervalette. In that case, let's go talk to him, shall we? The Palais is right up ahead. Come on. Oh, please state your business here. The chief... This place does look pretty heavily guarded. Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or who you might be related to. Our rules make no exceptions.
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yep, yep. I'm content. If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're busy, so please leave if you don't have a reason to be here.
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago? We were at the trial of the great magician Linny.
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird. You must be Linny's attorneys. It's all coming back to me now.
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Huh. Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business. You can trust us.
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice.
Ah, thanks so much.
Please come in.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Nervalette. We only lied to get in because we didn't know any other way.
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
So you're not mad at us? We're looking for a man called Vacher. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may be able to unearth some key information on the case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
Who knew that Neuvillette would be so easy to talk?
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vacher has been involved in any case, criminal or civil, in the past several years. There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
Traveler, what if it was really just a dream?
Is that so? All right then. Thank you so much, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Ahem. Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man. We deeply regret his passing.
And what are you trying to say, Monsieur Neuvillette? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words. You only said those things because you felt like you should. It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort. You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead. In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear. If you truly regret my father's death, then why didn't you call a stop to the duel? Why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die, despised and hated by all? Everything was hanging on a thread at that moment. Just the tiniest effort could have changed everything. There are still so many things I never got to tell him. So many questions he still owes me answers to. If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia, will show you the true meaning of regret.
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of things in your heart and never say a word to anyone. It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never express anything. Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice. My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Navia, are you okay?
I'm fine. Rain. It's raining.
You're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building?
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder, it was also rain.
What is it? Did you think of something?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why? Do you think that thought has occurred to us before? We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value. Oh? Wait. You don't mean...
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water and then got washed away with the rain? Yeah. And if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he explained...
I really think I found a true All right, let's go to Poisson. With this new lead in mind, we'll get to the bottom of my father's case for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna make progress for sure that...
Do you want to go with me now? Or do you want to head over by yourself later? Great. Let's... There's no need to be so surprised. While it may look like a ship, it's actually Spina di... My father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally... A gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a glorious past. Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in the sewers. But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself, she's been convinced.
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began after... Melus, we're back!
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important... You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to...
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Melus? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call impossible.
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything. It's an extremely dangerous substance. As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called for a complete ban of it.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, he refused to yield. Not only that, the boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation, put an end to the problem once and for all.
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to recognizing that. My father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. We planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. But, considering it now, it's... You're right. We still don't know what happened.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinite. I think this third person is on that note, however, our opponent is in... Even though Spina di Rosula, there is no need...
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, what was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Synth is still here, Callus the Unfaithful. Did he think I'd just accept his meaning? I've never accepted that. I want to find out.
Flavia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable.
So you do know something else, Malus.
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth and the serial disappearances case. But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, Demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness. The doctors told him that he had... And the serial disappearances case caused him great. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other side, and even told some members of Spina di Rosula about the detective. But as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the... If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared.
Right. So nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
No. I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to me.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful was still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
So he chose to die inside...
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, Demoiselle. What if Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of... I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
That fool. No. He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now? Yeah. I suppose that's true. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. And this... Malus, what was the key?
It's the location where Synth is produced. Essentially, when he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specifics of the incriminating. But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still have to take several things into consideration.
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go storming?
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization that's been in operation. There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside. But a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to a formal declaration of war. The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine Authority?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Liddy's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
That's true. Seems my father really had no choice, but things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt, now that we've connected Synth with...
You sound like you put a lot of thought into this, Malus.
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for you.
Thank you for all of that, Malus.
Let me think. One conclusion I came to is that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina di Rosula, or at least have an informant planted here. When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark and observe the reactions of the Synth. If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news. After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed the suspect list down to 3 people. The first is Florent, Spina de Rosula's senior advisor.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which also means that he was someone who understood Boss really well. Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming plans and could thus avoid capture this whole time. There's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Uncle Marcel.
It's a guild in Poisson. The Boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're one of the richest guilds around, with a lot of business connections in the city.
So, they're like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
Yes, you can say that. When we were it's a bit difficult to imagine someone using the...
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report to the local authorities. Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. These are all to think that the end...
If you want to investigate the...
Of course. And thank you.
You're too kind, my lady. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay...
Aw, thank you so much, Bellu.
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work together to uncover...
It is settled then.
Thank you for arranging everything.
Excuse me, miss.
Oh,
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
I'm sorry that
If it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mura and support. I understood your guilt and apology to be
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the...
You don't understand.
I didn't know how to face you. I know. Oh,
I'm sorry. On the matter regarding my husband,
would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe that my father could ever
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought so. When Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost immediately. He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized. I don't know that for sure, but you could say that's... Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callous, even if he fired...
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy? Papa always wanted to be a good man.
Well, things aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your papa was a good man, right?
Yeah, Papa was a...
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, then he must have had his reasons, regardless of whether he left you a pair...
Oh,
Thank you for everything you've told.
Thank you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think so? That's the first time anyone said that to me.
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Laurent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city. I'll get myself together on the way. So, please...
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House? Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen his case. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callis was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after? My first reaction was that Mr. Callis's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callis was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at each other, not knowing what to say.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation. Reason being, Mr. Callis had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene. But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned, do you think there was a 3rd person there who was turned into water?
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a 3rd person on the scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callis ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys? But hold on. If that's what had happened, then why didn't he share the truth with any of us? He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
About that, Malus told me a thing or 2. So, I think I can understand why he committed to the duel. I'll tell you everything, once the whole truth has been revealed.
I understand. Then, I'll leave Mr. Callis's honor in your hands, boss. And if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callis the Unfaithful epithet has been a thorn in my side since the day it was invented. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callis, even after so many years have passed. But it was Mr. Callis's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula and live the life I lead today. No matter what others might say, he'll always be the man I respect the most. And he'll always be my boss.
Don't worry. I will definitely find the truth. You and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth as well. Hey, Thierry, it's me.
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself.
Oh, so you've caught news of that already.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something wrong.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to the city already?
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Callus did a fantastic job running the town. Building Spina Deep, it would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city. Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these two friends of yours? You, here for some formal...
Ah, yes. These two are my partners. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Linny's case and my father's may be related.
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it. If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own. Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's...
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered guards. So, if you, hypothetically, wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do was get rid of the mecha serial numbers and send them after.
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching mecha is very different from controlling them. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same, removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible to keep it a secret. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though, being in the synth business would definitely be profitable enough.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, thank you for the vote of confidence. Now, jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your investigation. I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me if you need any support from the guard.
Hello. How may I help you? I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please share? I will let him...
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be.
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House. I'm sure you...
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Oh, you were at the Opera House too.
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery? I also witnessed her marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve in water?
Yes, I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating?
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
Oh, and what makes you say that?
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea. If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected us?
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for me. If you're scared, you can always return there. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is catching up with me, so it'll take me a while to recall my memory. The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were running smoothly. I didn't even have the time to drink with the guests. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more.
Sounds good. Just let me know if you ever need Mora. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
One with nature.
We've talked to all three suspects.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed to find them out, then my father wouldn't have needed to investigate the case for so many... Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's still compile what we were able to find.
But where should we start? Ah, you're right! Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of circumstance. That makes sense.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no choice before he left home that day. If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my father. Had he refused, he and his family's lives would have been forfeit.
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Oh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for murder. And once he had completed his mission, he'd be of no more use to his boss.
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the Order and seek protection from my father. Makes sense. But without evidence, that's still just a theory. Besides, Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering me quite a bit as well. It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Given everything that's happened since, it's quite possible. But who among the three suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex? Mary, you say? It is possible that he's figured out a way to convert the Gardamex for personal use. But I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha. I also don't think he'd be able to keep that kind of tampering under wraps.
Yeah, had he actually tampered with the mecha, we'd be able to prove it with a simple check of the guard's inventory. If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
Florent? It is true that he was closest to my father, and thus had the best chance of learning about his dealings with Jacques. But as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security, so he shouldn't have much means when it comes to finance.
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a...
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be able to dispatch a... Uncle Marcel? And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also afford a large number. Still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight his own synth business? Who could it be? You know, if you think everything through...
Could we be missing other suspects?
The suspect is knowledge... Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Marcel.
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes, Malus did say that we need far more salt...
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been...
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial, huh?
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials? What's so newsworthy?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
What? Is that...
Yeah, we know him. Maybe...
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
Wait, how? None of our investigations have had...
That's what I thought. If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our...
Right. Because they'll...
Yeah.
I understand. Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Since this is a trial... You're right. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence.
But it will help you...
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malus, Silver.
We heard. It's our hope.
See you then! Now that Navia has set out for Irenaeus, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over. Huh. According to Malus's info, the synth production base is underwater. Let's go and try to find the entrance. The entrance that leads to the sin... Navia's...
It would appear that I must repeat my question again. Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even heard of. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel to clear their name. Is that right? In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight with that champion duelist Clorent, right? I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received. When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back. Real disappointing.
Hey, don't you understand? You're currently the prime suspect for a major case. This isn't the place for you to be looking for fights.
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House. Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat of battle.
No. That's not...
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is going poorly. We have made very little progress. In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again. The goal of this trial is to determine the culprit behind the serial disappearance.
That case had nothing to do with him. Huh? What's going on? Why is she interjecting?
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui Harbingers.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior last time because you were able to provide the court with a key eyewitness. But that was an exception rather than standard court protocol. I can very well charge you with contempt of court for your interjections.
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place's pointless theatrics? We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to charge the true culprit behind the serial disappearance. And if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be proven innocent by default. Correct?
Oh. A young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, I'd gotten half bored to death by all these rules and procedures anyway. So I'll take you up on that offer. So, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me to do now?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person you would like to charge instead?
That person is... Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabriet. Huh? What Confrérie?
I've heard of them, but weren't they...
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone is an incredibly serious matter. Committing to the charge, and if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also be charged with the crime of making a false accusation.
Yes,
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, please take your places on the... Members of the guards, please contact Mr. Marcel right away so that he may stand trial. Mr. Marcel, you will not require an attorney.
Apologies, sir. It all just happened so quickly. I still haven't figured out what's going on. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a misunderstanding between me...
Very well. In that case, since both sides have...
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago. To the case. Only through elucidating what really happened in that case can we connect all the dots for the serial disappearance.
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who killed your father? Come on. Why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and remember both you and I only ran to the scene when we heard the sound of a gun. If that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at that banquet a suspect as well?
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. The audience doesn't even have the big picture yet. Even I'm struggling to remember some details of that. Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about that case before I can explain my charge and reasoning.
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabrières. During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance, Jacques, lay dead from a... The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the second must have taken Jacques' life. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, he chose to prove his innocence through a duel. Callus was defeated by champion duelist Clorand in the ensuing duel, and soon succumbed to the injuries. These are the known facts.
In truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was shot in turn by my father when after that, the true culprit turned the third person into water, erasing all... Thank you. However, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information about the... This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus to wrestle the gun from him and kill him instead. Something's not right. The testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques had thoughts of assassinating Callus when he set out for the banquet. However, in the end, he reconsidered, and instead shared everything with Callus, hoping to seek the latter's. Unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit had already considered this possibility, and had... a pile of culprits. Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible for...
So that's what happened.
Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial sea has been used for all these years?
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and Jacques' respective motives. I guess they didn't shoot each other after all.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You should provide a rebuttal if you wish to prove your innocence.
But I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing in her speech that directly implicated me.
Then, may I ask some questions? In my opinion, we primarily need to determine two things. One, do you have the evidence to back up your... I'm afraid not. At least not at this very moment.
Boo! If you don't have any evidence, you should just go home!
I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes against a record of people who went missing around the same time, we should be able to find a match. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all missing persons from around that time, regardless of age or gender.
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette, I would consider this to be a reasonable investigative direction.
Why do I feel like Farina's acting a little differently today?
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again?
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the...
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. If the truth is indeed as you described, then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person had been dissolved, he could have at least mounted a defense.
I've thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. He felt there were things that were more important to him. The dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is an important secret for the true culprit of the serial disappearances case. My father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose to take it to the grave. At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. he had no guarantee that going forward with the truth would allow the culprit to be brought to justice. What was certain, however, was that it would paint a gigantic target on my back.
Moss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected as the next target of the serial disappearances.
What? If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one in danger. All of us would have stood to lose our lives. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter and determine that we were in the right. But what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict protect anyone? Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice, Spina di Rosula would have had no reason to exist. But by staying silent, we retained the ability to deter our opponents and continue the stalemate. I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target, as well as giving me more time to grow and learn. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what this opera house cannot, and restore my father's truth and honor back to him.
So, you mean to say, your father intended to die in the duelist's ring?
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to ask his opponent, Clorand. I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support from the shadows. You don't have to do anything for my sake. But since he entrusted his will to you, Clorand, you should tell us the truth about his
So, during the duel, did you believe that Callus was intending to die?
Yes, I did. As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives in my line of work. I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Some were determined. Others just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live or if they're looking to die. I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended to leave the ring alive.
Since that's your testimony, I have no more questions.
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your father's case and the serial disappearances case.
Right? What she said was fascinating, but kind of beside the point.
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial disappearance?
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are connected via a matter of timing. In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. As a result, they planned to act after hearing 2 gunshots. And at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized they were at risk of being identified. The culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at the scene. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet and the trial.
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing your reasoning, I still can't help but find it a little preposterous. I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's one of your most endearing traits.
No need to appeal to pathos.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that I was the only person present at both events? On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't someone remotely monitor the place?
Know what you can say to that?
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of suspects with some further investigations, until I'm the only one left on the list. Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation of murder from a girl you see as your own daughter? But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not being considerate of your feelings. Ah well, let Uncle Marcel teach you another lesson. Do you know what the biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
I suppose you're gonna tell me anyways.
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap young women. It's a high-risk action with nothing to gain. In addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya when I was young to come to Poisson and work in some trade. My business only thrived when I received Callus's patronage. But the disappearances began before I ever stepped foot in Fontaine.
I do apologize, Demoiselle. This was my mistake.
No, it's not your fault. I'm sure he had come prepared.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to check the date of my first business license against the first known case of the... You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family when I left Snezhnaya for the first... Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable anguish in your heart?
Seems like she got the wrong guy. At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely accusing.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings as he neared the end of his life. But aren't you going against all of his wishes and expectations right now? He wished for you to become more rational, collected, and conscientious, instead of dwelling only on your own feelings. Once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong into things, you'd have met most of his expectations.
This isn't just about me. And it never... The biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability to search for the truth, while that same agency has long been taken from them. The people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the people who suffered tragic ends due to their sense of justice. Many people's images are flashing before my eyes. And whose image do you see? Mark, is it a man named Vache?
Huh.
Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Solidify!
I will have order.
Shine down! Into the wind.
Yeah! Commit to memory. Yeah! Whoa! The floor is going up! Is it because of this mechanism in the middle?
Crumble!
Time to go.
Paimon thinks we need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way. Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up. The water level is rising. Now we can swim to the top. But this is still a ways away from where we need to go.
Stabilize!
Illusion shattered! One with nature.
Everyone hold hands.
Solidify!
Shine down! The wind knows me.
I see everything. Now the path is clear. Let's go.
Illusion shattered! Into the wind! Now ye shall perish! Ha! 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 Ha!
After all that, we finally made it to the inner though, as expected. The mastermind. That's right. Whoa. There's so much synth here. And so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the what? Mixing in progress. Ready? Whoa! There's even fruit flavored synth? Yep, it's super. Let's see what's written here. Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation report on him. This should prove the existence of the third person, right? We still the old dog. He can act. I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. He won't declare war as long as we don't touch none. Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups. What's all this? Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box. Oh, Paimon sees it too. Wait, huh? You mean the girls from the serial disappearances? They were brought here, and then they were turned into all the boxes of things. These names.
Wow, wow, చందు కావాలనిలే వాయమ్మా స్ట్రీమ్ చేస్తున్నా చందు
Looks
రాడ్డుతున్నా
like some kind of place for experiment number. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Sorry, traveler. Paimon will try her best. How could someone write something that terrible if you read the rest? Paimon's too scared to keep going. So that's why he did all of these. Wait, did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just insane! Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. Ah, you mean Vache is the one who did all of these... so that's it. Vache was no victim, but personally took his lover and... No, that's not it either. If that's the case, in any case... We've looked at almost everything here. Yeah, we haven't found anything that would... No wonder even Nervalet was that way. Even if we bring all this back to the op... Sure thing. You take that side. Ugh. Nothing at all. And Paimon can't even find snaps either. Whoa, really? What Paimon see? Premiere. Isn't that Vache's love? Then, aw. So many! The final name she... Marcel! Wait, but... Marcel's pretty old. Help!
And whose image? Is it a man? Oh. I was...
Navia! We're back!
As expected of my partner.
Just how often do you intend to flout the rules of this court?
It's all right, Monsieur Nervalet. Given their confidence, I expect they found...
But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you...
Huh?
We've investigated your lair. We already know everything. After your lover, Vinier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the hopes of bringing her back. You even created Marcel as a new identity and destroyed all records of your past as Vache.
So that's it. Even the villains in opera... And with that, Marcel's motive had this information regarding your past also dismantles your prior timing defense. Well, Marcel, you fixated your gaze on the lover that... So, you never noticed how we changed, or how we grew as
You also never understood Boss's real expectations for his...
For our determination to see things through...
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself.
Do you really think I wanted to do any of this? Pay attention to you. What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life dissolve right in front of your eyes? No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, they said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from... Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, you only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice. Your beloved drama. While turning a blind eye to the sucking year is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she goes, I will fight, but I'm not from this blasted place. So
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
I can't dissolve! Can't dissolve! Do you all see? I can't go! I can't follow! I did all of that. And in the end, that accursed Callus still got the better of me. I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his idiot daughter at the very...
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me! Vinyere, please, Vinyere.
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear.
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood.
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have... The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vacher and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover, Vinyere. During an underwater expedition, Vinyere accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vacher as a result. Vacher learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to restore Vinyere back to life. To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson. During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria, and began to manufacture and market. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict with Spina di Rosula. After exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vacher decided to assassinate their president, Callus, at a banquet. Although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Callus into the murder suspect by dissolving the assassin he sent to the scene. And just recently, Vacher attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method. However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case also exposed enough of Vacher's machinations that he was eventually successfully charged in court. Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case, with the truth revealed to all. The oratrice will now deliver the final verdict. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse, guilty.
Guards! Take Vacher.
Good. It's what...
That.
We really just...
He's hurt so many innocent people and... Huh? Are you okay?
Mademoiselle, you were...
Day hour late, boss.
Yeah. Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, past wrongs have been righted, and it's a big ol' Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got some business to attend to.
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
What now? None of this has anything to do with me.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge before the trial can conclude.
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal? Isn't it time for side characters like me to exit stage and...
Please respect the laws of Fontaine. This has always been the rule.
All right, but this sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there.
Through evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that Mr. Tot, the guilty party, has been identified. We now turn to the According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique de la Guilty.
What?
Hey, hey! That's not funny! Didn't you just say I'm supposed to be in it? What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine malfunctioning?
Huh? This has never happened before. The Oratrice actually returned a different verdict from the Chief Justice.
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think—
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of.
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal is, by law, the final verdict of the court. We must accept the guilty verdict. Guards, please take the suspect in.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
He's activating his spell legacy!
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld.
Hey, Monsieur Novelette, what's going on?
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to the rules established at the conception of Fontaine's court system, the Oratrice's judgment is the final verdict of the court. All I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Why are you looking at me? I had nothing to do with it! I don't know what happened there either! Hey, stop staring at me!
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
She says she has no idea either? But that's impossible.
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not? Can results like this really be called justice?
My dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow an incorrect verdict to be handed out in this court? Did you really believe that the judgment could be mistaken or be the result of some sort of random mishap? Don't tell me. You thought even I had been blindsided by the Oratrice.
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious she had no idea.
However, given the state of things, I shall give you an explanation. Everything that just took place, including my supposed and of course. For if you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, it is only because you've been blinded by the superficial appearance of innocence. Everything he's done, not to mention the danger he poses, are beyond all shall be revealed in time. Now, having said that, although
So she chose to make her escape after all, did she?
So you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what she...
She probably just put on that performance to save face. However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity. Just as I promised, if the judgment has been incorrect, we will do our utmost to clear his name.
All right. Even though we feel pretty badly for him, we'll take your word for it for now. After all, he's done plenty of bad stuff. So he should have known he'd go to prison someday.
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop him!
Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
Marcel! What are you doing over here?
Stop resisting or...
No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Thank you. Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear? I erased all records of that name. So, unless...
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
Really? You did? The Fountain of Lucine? Then she's been so close to me all along. Please, please give me a chance to talk to her again. Just let the Traveler take me to the fountain to see...
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think serial killers get to make...
Paimon agrees. Why should we give him what he wants?
This request, is it worth as much to...
Of course!
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live just... Very well.
Your Honor.
I will go with him.
Thank you. Is this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Yeah, and even...
Vache!
Ah!
Yes, that's it. So...
Vinier, it's me!
Vache?
I'm here! I'm here!
Hey, wait! Be careful!
Vinier, is that you? It's...
Vache? Why did you... You look a lot older than I remember.
It's been more than 20 years. All this time. Only the thought of bringing you back has kept me alive. Nothing else mattered to me. Ah, I must be dreaming. Who would have thought I'd get the chance to tell you all of my feelings? Vinier, you are my everything. I really don't know how I...
But Vache, if you ask me, if not for you, I would have finished my law degree and probably become a top-tier attorney one. If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the arts, and my works would have been displayed in the Palais Mermondia. If not for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. And she would not have grown old and died alone, with nothing but it's all because of your selfishness, Vache. It's all because of you.
You... Wait, you are not Vinier. Who are...
You're right. I am not Vinier. I am the sacrifices. Every woman who died by your hand, as our bodies dissolve, our conscious, our thoughts circulate. I'm Cressy, the only one I...
Why?
She doesn't want to... This is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our... But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? If she would despise you for... You are a liar. A heartless murder... The only thing you are not. From the moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vinier's, she has had nothing but pure...
No!
You still don't understand, but on top of that, she also said that because it's her final drop. She said that because she knew that But if you did come here, we will show no Vache.
Vache?
Finally, we have some time to do shopping. Gosh, it's really been a long time since we've been able to relax.
Huh. Well met, partner.
Even this weather.
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
Oh, hey, Nep.
Oh. It's just everyone from Spina Deep this time, though. Everyone.
So his name's...
It's been the dearest wish.
That blasted stubborn fool. Oh, by the well,
Huh?
yeah, way back. I believe the story. To be fair, though, she was trying to leave.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I told. Oh, and in other news,
Oh, are you two on...
it was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide. I wanted to thank her. I mean, there's also no point in being awkward all the time. So.
Oh, that's great.
Anyway, now. Oh,
What is it?
I should pay a visit to my father's grave and tell him the truth of what happened, as well as how. And on top of that.
Miss Navi.
Indeed.
Sure thing.
And in that case...
Yeah.
Huh? There's someone there already. Isn't that Nervalette? Why would the Chief Justice be here? Huh? Now?
My apologies. I should have asked before coming to pay my respects.
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I was trying to say there's no need for you to apologize. I wanted to show my father how much I've grown. But still...
In that case, I will stop apologizing for now.
You really could use some pointers on understanding human emotions, Monsieur Nerval. In any case, why did you come to Poisson?
Well, ever since that day, I've been turning a question over and over in my head. Just what is justice anyway? There was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything... Oh, rather than that, which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that fateful duel. I believe that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like that. That there was nothing, should have been nothing, but Mr. Callis proved me utterly. And if not for his sacrifice, the serial disappearances case would have remained unsolved to this day. Mr. Callis made the choice he did for his daughter, for his associate, and in the end, from a certain perspective, one could say that he did it all for the sake of justice. A justice that's higher than life. So, you asked me why I came here. I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callis in person. I should have noticed all of this much sooner. This regret has filled me with a sadness that has haunted me for days. That high and mighty chair in the Opera Epiclese indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your hard work.
I'm sorry. So, you're actually one of those types that's cold on the...
Sorry about that. Self-expression is not one of my strong...
Didn't I just say you don't...
So Navia and Nervalette seem to have made their peace as well. Let's not disturb them for now. We can wait till after they're done. Paimon's never paid respects at someone's grave before. Huh? Oh, Paimon didn't know that was a thing. Why? Paimon doesn't know what she would do if she came home. No. Paimon holds Miss... Anyway, Nervalette is still standing around.
Oh, it's you two.
We ran into Navi on the streets.
I see. Then is there something that I can help you with?
Well, it's pretty hard to run into you like this, since you're usually...
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine, and it would be my pleasure to return. My apologies. My investigation has still not reached. However, I still believe the judgment of the Oratrice was not rendered arbitrary.
But you also said you thought he was innocent.
For many years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat the verdict that I give on each case. As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in the concept of justice is integrated into it. Not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, but it likely also possesses other traits, such as self-awareness. Which is all to say, I've been prepared for a situation like this.
So when Lenny told us that he heard a human voice from the room where...
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps that could serve to prove my conjecture. In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology all its own. Based on Farina's reaction, I doubt even she had any idea what was going on. She managed to bluff her way through it, though. The time-tested twin tricks of bravado and drama. While we do intend to get to the bottom of this, for now, we regret to say that if we did incorrectly convict him of crimes he did not commit, we will most certainly compensate him to the fullest extent allowed.
If you ask Paimon, the only compensation he'll want is a no-holds-barred fight with you.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
So, at court, the bad guys were...
Truthfully, that name... There used to be a special C on the most of Tivat's life.
Huh.
But today, the primordial... What Vache discovered must have been some kind of special case.
Huh. So that's how it is. Oh, you really know everything, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea, which was known to engender and nurture life, suddenly reverse itself and devour? To be frank, that also doesn't match my understanding. Is there anything... Your sibling? Another blonde-haired traveler? I'm sorry, but I've never seen anyone who matches... If she ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure she followed our laws to the letter, and had no reason to appear on the stage of the opera at the club. Is there anything else you'd like? That the sea level, does that appropriate?
That's right!
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where we have no choice. Rumors have it that this prophecy is...
A prophecy?
Two parts of the Speaking of the... If the rumors were true...
But with
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about? Very well. It will soon be time for me to leave this...
You really...
Crime and villainy do not have the day off.
All right, Huh? Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped.
wherever. Let it be known that divinity is mine!
Order guide you.
Churn! There is no escape! Wind strike. One with wind and cloud. Inazuma shines eternal! Illusion shattered!
Stabilize.
Everyone hold hands. This way for a little bit. Yeah.
My endless cycle begins! 1,000 eons, mine to dominate! Filth! Kneel! Gather!
Stabilize.
Burn to oblivion! Reality is pain!
Quake. I see your power. Solidified.
Good riddance, cruel world.
Stabilize.
Shine down!
Yeah. Grow. Yeah. Committed to memory. Yeah.
Solidify. I will have order.
The wind knows it. Your new god awakens! Now, your eyes have been opened to oblivion!
Grow.
Kneel! There is no escape! Ha!
Committed to memory.
Tremble!
Stabilize.
Reality is pain! Illusion shattered!
This may hurt a little.
Ha!
Crumble. Solidify. Burn to
There is no
oblivion.
escape!
I can't lose it all again.
Osmanthus wine taste. Every journey has its final day. Don't rush.
Shine down! Into the wind! Torn to oblivion! Insolent!
Clouds high. The birds call.
Teamwork is dreamwork! Absurd!
That's close enough. Stabilize. Order guide you.
better. Huh?
Need.
Huh?
Happy to oblige.
Solidify! Gather!
Witness the power of Gugwa. Know my sword. Rain out.
Higher, higher, hands on fire!
Huh?
This is order.
Illusion shattered. One with nature.
No turning back! Quiver!
Inazuma shines eternal. Ha! 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 Kill! Ha! Ha! Ha!
Ha! Strike!
The wind knows me. There is no escape.
Let's light it up! I'm going in! Ha!
Illusion shattered.
Quiver! Storm the front!
Ha! Now you shall perish. Ha! 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 Ha!
Adventure time. Let's light it up. Everybody stand back.
Into the wind. Shine down.
Solidify!
Let me weave you a verse. Know my sword.
Gather! Stabilize! I will have order!
Illusion shattered.
No turning back! Flash!
There is no escape. Illusion shattered. The wind knows me.
You are not for new punching.
Gather!
Witness the power of Gugwa. Rain outlines your...
Now you're testing my patience.
Into the wind. Transfiguration. Cryo incarnate.
Sakura swirl. My Everybody stand back!
The wind knows me. Fallen leaves, adorn my
My will embodied.
Do your master's bidding! Take flight! Kamisato art! Sometsu! Yeah! Ha! Whirling snow! I'm going in! Ha!
one with nature. Clouds high, the birds come.
Transfiguration.
My apologies! Sakura swirl! Yeah! Ha! Take flight! Teamwork is dreamwork! Huh?
Into the wind. Fallen leaves, adorn my
Cryo incarnate.
My apologies! Embrace the ice! Yeah! Yeah! Ha! Ha! Going in! Let's light it up!
The wind knows me. Clouds high, the birds come.
Take your true form.
Whirling snow! Kamisato art! Sometsu! Yeah! Yeah! Take flight!
My will embodied.
My apologies! Teamwork is dreamwork!
Into the wind. Fallen leaves, adorn my
Take your true form.
Do your master's bidding! Take flight! Peekaboo! Embrace the ice! Ha! Yeah! Yeah! Ha!
high. The birds come!
My will embodied. Take flight. Sakura swirl.
Wind strike!
Everybody stand back.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night! The wind knows me.
Cryo incarnate. Whirling snow. Coming to art. Sumetsu. Yeah. Take flight! I'm going in! Let's light it up!
One with nature. As one with wind and cloud.
Whirling snow! Sakura swirl! My apologies! Take flight! Yeah! Whirling snow! Everybody stand back!
Into the wind. Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
Unleash! Do your master's bidding! A worthy opponent! Coming to art! Sumetsu! Teamwork is dreamwork! Jade embraces its duty as a jeweler their gems.